Got a coffee?
Yeah, go on then.
Oats. Pink Lady apple. Walnuts. Almond. Sunflower. These make it. Raisins and cranberries. Fruits for feasting. Honestly, it's so good. Honey and almond milk saves calories. Can't even taste it. Partnered with a whey protein shake. Jokes. There we go. Breakfast served.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress.
We start off with sumo deadlifts here, which is probably my strongest lift out of all the key lifts. Next on the list is the incline bench press. Chest is not a strong point for me, so always trying to hit the upper clavicular head of the chest. Next week when I move up for this lift, that'll probably be an all-time personal best, 82.5 for 8 to 10, so I'm pleased with the progress on this one. Next on the list is a T-bar row modification. As you can see, I've got a cable ankle attachment through 2 5-kilogram discs that I've wrapped around the bar. Obviously, I can't anchor the bar in, so it's just between the mat and the rack. And I've stood on a plate just so that I can increase the range of motion a little bit, because as you can see, the weight disc at the top is hitting the chest, so I'm losing out on a little bit of range of motion, but I've covered it at the bottom. Nice stretch there. Actually feels really good, this movement as well. I don't have any cable machines, so hitting the triceps is pretty much all dumbbell barbell work. So with this variation, I like it because it's a different kind of stretch. It's kind of similar to the skull crusher, but the skull crusher goes over the eyes or kind of behind the head, whereas this one is underneath the chin, and I feel quite a lot of a stretch around the elbow, just behind the elbow, lower elbow of this one, to thicken up that bottom area. I mean, it's hitting all the triceps, but each tricep exercise will favour one area more than the others. And to be honest, with this one, I find that instead of it hitting the long head, when your arms above your head, you hit the long tricep head, it's hitting more of the lateral head, which again, as mentioned before, is more of the weaker area of my triceps and need to bring out that outside head. Next is the hammer curl, bringing up the brachioradialis between the bicep and the triceps, so that when you flex, you go for that front double bicep or back double bicep, it just pops your bicep up a little bit more, gives you a little bit more peak. These are so much harder than they look. The burn is intense, especially when going for higher reps. Like I'm only lifting 12 kilogram here, but by 11 reps, the pain is just ridiculous. And keeping form is more difficult than it looks. And I also find that seated hammer curls are much harder than standing, because with standing you get much more rocking of the body, whereas with this, if you have trying to have a slight lean forward, I'm leaning slightly back now, but it's right at the very last rep. Love a good hammer curl. and of course trying to bring out the chest as much as I can. Again, I don't have access to any machinery or any cable machines, so for me at the moment it's just your flat and incline dumbbell flies. You'll see that I'm a bit lopsided on these, and I'm actually thinking about what I'm doing as well at the time. I'm trying to get the dumbbell equal on each side. It could very well be to do with the fact that I used to Romanian deadlift and conventionally deadlift with an underhand overhand grip, a mixed grip, so my left hand would be under, and you feel your shoulder blades working much more in that grip. So it might just be that I've got a more protruded, more muscular protrusion, if that's even a word, at the back of my left shoulder, which is just making me look a bit lopsided. Physios have actually spotted this in the past and said it's just more muscle mass on one side, so maybe that's what it's down to, I'm not sure, but I certainly don't feel it compromise my form or anything like that.
Does anyone else's missus? Leave shit. For example, beans lying on the edge of the shelf. Who else's missus does that? Awesome.
Yeah, I'm 7.9. This one. Oh, for God's sake, every time.
7.9.
Bye.
Welcome to the next video. This one is about whether you should bulk, perma-bulk, or should you cut? Very common question that we get asked. Now this here is our scale, and we have men 10%, women 18%. The reason why females have higher body fat percentages is basically to do with the reproductive system and carrying children, okay? So they will always have a higher body fat percentage than males. So low range, medium range, men 15%, women 23%. High range, men 20%, women 28%. Now this range here at the start is where most people will start a mass phase. The middle range, it's recommended that you end your bulk or your mass phase there, mini cut down to around 10% and re-go again. However, not everybody does that, and you can still physiologically very well actually gain mass up until the 20 and the 28% range. So you can start from this position, you can master this as well, okay? So you don't have to start at 10 or 18%, you can start from the 15 or the 23 as well. Now, the reason why this phase is recommended in most cases to finish your mass phase and mini cut down to 10 or 18% body fat is because of the issues that come with higher body fat ranges. So a higher body fat means longer cutting phases. This means longer time in a deficit, not trying to gain mass, gain muscle tissue. And it also means a higher chance of muscle loss the longer we have to diet for, okay? Also, we get a reduced P ratio, which basically means the more body fat we gain, it becomes a little bit harder to gain lean tissue with it, okay? So there's some science supporting that. So it makes sense that we don't go above this point, that is the maximum we go. Now, some people feel good at these body fat levels, there's nothing wrong with them, it's still in the healthy range. However, for people that compete or want to stay lean year round and to stay lean for the beach, for summer, stuff like that, they don't want to get too far away from here because it's basically just a ball ache. to diet longer. So we want to keep our bulks or our mass phases compared to our fat loss phases, a 4-to-1 ratio. So for example, if you was to mass for 8 months, you would mini cut for 2 months. If you mass for 4 months, you mini cut for 1 month. Never any more, because we want to spend a maximum amount of time massing. Okay, so now the main question, should we bulk or should we cut? Now for beginners, they've got the brand new into the game of trying to build muscle. So the bodies are so sensitive to gaining more muscle tissue. So it is recommended that they spend 6 months establishing the strength training foundation and tidying up their food. This alone will have a significant impact on body composition, losing fat and gaining muscle simultaneously. Okay? What this does is it will increase your total daily energy expenditure, again, significantly. So you'll burn more fat at rest with more lean tissue on your frame. So without even thinking about going into a deficit, your body will be almost borrowing fat to funnel through to help the muscle building process, okay? So again, the body is so sensitive to the stimulus of weight training that it gains muscle so easily without having to be in a surplus. So it makes sense that if you have a higher body fat as a beginner, you needn't go into a deficit. You either go at maintenance or you go into a mild calorie deficit. That could be a 200 to 300 deficit, okay? Because most of the strength training and just the tidying up of your eating is going to do a lot of the wonders for you, okay? So you are going to borrow fat from your cells to build the muscle building process, as mentioned. And if you find yourself around a 10% or less body fat percentage, or you're close to the 10 mark, as a beginner, you may as well enter a surplus, 300 to 500 calories, and again, that will help even more to funnel all that energy to support muscle mass gains. Effectively, beginners get the best of both worlds. They get to build muscle tissue and burn fat at the same time, okay? Which is called recomposition. Your body uses fat tissue, builds muscle tissue from that energy. It doesn't turn fat into muscle. It uses the energy, pulls it out of the cells, and funnels it towards building a house, building muscle tissue. Now, unfortunately for us, intermediate to advanced lifters, this, whether we bulk or cut or mass or cut, becomes very body fat dependent. So if you've 2 to 3 years of lifting under your belt, you're not so sensitive to muscle gains anymore, unfortunately. So this is where you have to choose the pathway. Do you want to burn fat or build muscle tissue? You have to make a decision when you are intermediate plus to advanced, okay? The body, especially if you are 10%, if you're any less than that, you absolutely need a surplus, okay? So, if men 15% and women 23% are 23%, so you're in the middle position here, there's no right or wrong way. It depends on how you feel mentally, because you can effectively still build muscle really well up until this point of men 20%, women 28%. You can also mini cut very easily and get back down to 10 or 18%. So you're here. If you don't want to diet and you want more muscle tissue and you've got plenty of time before summer comes, you may choose that. If summer's around the corner, a couple of months away, you may go this way. But just know that both ways can work. You can absolutely gain muscle very effectively up until this level, but anything past that and things start working against you logistically, you don't want to get too far away from the lean weight that you want to be, because it's just an absolute, it messes your head up. You'll be low on energy for too long. Your hormones start coming into the equation. Metabolism slows down. Muscle potentially can be lost more easily. So start here, end here, and if you're in the middle, you can choose which one you would like, okay? So I've mentioned the ratio of massing to cutting. Don't change month to month. If you are in this category, you must choose, and remember the ratio, 4-to-1 mass to cut. If you keep interchanging month to month between the two, you will not gain muscle tissue. You'll just train hard and then you'll cut and you'll hardly have anything to show for it. We need months and months and months of weightlifting, of progressive overload under our belt to see the muscle change, okay? So you'll basically get suboptimal results by doing the month to month changes, or you'll see absolutely no difference at all. Okay? So, we hope that helps. We hope that clears up your pathway to your goals and which one you like, because we know it can be quite confusing. Okay? But nice and simply, if you're 10 to 18%, it's a good idea to go on a mass. If you're 15 to 23%, it's generally recommended to head back down. And if you're 15 to 23%, it depends very much on your goals. If you still feel you've got muscle gain to have, or your training is going super well and you're progressing all of your lifts, you may carry on to this weight, okay? But now you have a good idea of how this works and how you can implement it into your life and to your goals. We hope that helped.
Ooh, it's time. I can confirm he has a winky.
Absolutely buzzing.
What we're building?
We're building a little boy.
Coffee time at the docks. Gonna go on a walk. Nice food. And lunch. We're on a walk and we've literally just found out that we have a baby boy cooking away in that oven. So we're buzzing, excited. Gonna pick Monkey up and then we have got the baby reveal. So that should be cool.
That's the best one.
Like, subscribe, don't forget, it's the comment that gives the YouTube algorithm love. So give it a comment anything, thumbs up, ask me a question, whatever, let me know your thoughts on how you thought the video went. I'm going to try to make one every week, at least one every 2 weeks anyway, so I hope you like it.